Are you ready for a new adventure? Time to travel back in time, let's go! Are you ready for a new adventure? Let's learn about the past with Anna and Leo.
Hi friends! Welcome to Unlock This, a podcast from Honest History, where we join our friends Anna, Leo, and Percy on adventures through time and uncover some really cool stories along the way. My name is William. I'm 6 years old, and I love learning about history, especially new stories that I don't hear about in school. I can't wait for today's story, and I think you're gonna love it too. So let's dive in.
Whoa, Leo, you've got a lot of books there. Do you need help?
No, I got this. Okay, maybe I don't got it. Do you mind holding some of these?
Sure. What are all these books for anyway?
I'm doing a report for school, and we can only use books from the library. I kind of got a lot.
You can say that again.
I couldn't help it. I was looking at one book, then there was another right next to it that sounded interesting. And before I knew it, I had 12 books.
12? I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books here.
There's 7 more in my backpack.
Leo, these books are heavy. How did you manage to carry them all the way here? And how are you going to get them home?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that yet. I wish I could find something to carry these back. Hey, do you think there's something in the vault? Like an old cart?
I don't know, but that might be hard to sneak past the museum security guard.
That's a good point. We'll need a distraction.
You know who we should ask? Percy! I bet he'll know if there's something in the vault we can use.
And he'd be pretty good at creating a distraction.
Hey, Percy, are you there?
There he is.
Percy, Leo needs to carry all these books back to his house later. Is there a cart or a wagon in the vault we can use? I think he's thought of something. Quick, let's follow him to the vault.
Well, we can't move that quickly. We got all these books, remember?
Oh yeah, Percy, wait up! Let's put these down. Give our arms a rest. Now, where did Percy go?
Over there. He's in the other room.
There's something pretty big underneath that blanket. I think that's what Percy wants to show us. Come on, let's see what's under it.
I don't think anyone has looked at this for a while.
Whoa, Leo, look! It's a horse! Well, a fake horse. I think it's made of wood.
Anna, there's bags strapped to the side of the horse. Come look.
These are saddlebags. And there's old books in there.
I just noticed a sign at the bottom of the horse. It says, The Pack Horse Library Project, 1935 to 1943. What do you suppose the Pack Horse Library Project was?
I don't know, but I'm guessing that's what Percy wants us to learn about.
Did you find any cool books in the bag?
Why? You want another book?
No, I was just curious, that's all.
Well, I found this book. It's called Robinson Crusoe. It's got a bunch of pictures inside.
Check out this other book. It's full of old recipes that people cut out and stuck in here. There's a recipe for cornbread. Ooh, I love cornbread. Maybe I have space for one more book.
Leo, do you feel that?
Yeah, it feels like we're about to travel. Hang on, Anna.
Where are we?
I don't know, but it looks like there's a road over there. Let's go see where it goes.
Hey, look, a sign. It says, Welcome to Woodin, and there's buildings just ahead. Maybe this is a town.
Doesn't look like a very big town.
There's a man on a horse coming our way. Let's get off the road to let him pass.
Doesn't look like people use cars around here. I wonder what time we traveled to.
Look, there's a woman, too. I think she's trying to talk to the man on the horse.
Pardon me, where do I go to donate these books?
Books? Over yonder at the Wooten Community Center.
Leo, did you just hear that?
Yeah, that lady has a bunch of books, and that man told her to go to that building over there.
I bet that's where we're supposed to go. Let's follow those books.
I can see the lady up on the path. Come on.
Be careful. There's a lot of sticks and rocks on this path. It seems like a lot of the roads around here are a little dangerous. Well, here's the building. Now, where do you suppose the front door is?
There, the lady just went that way.
Hey, look! Books!
I've come to donate these. Well, thank you. The children will love these.
Anna, I think this is some kind of library. Only I get the feeling it's not usually a library. There's all sorts of stuff in here.
And look at those women over there. They look busy. Let's get a closer look to see what they're up to.
Ooh, I think they're fixing those books. Some of them look pretty beat up, and the women are gluing them back together.
Hey, Leo, look. There's a sign on the wall. It says Pack Horse Library, WPA. So this must be the Pack Horse Library. Remember? We saw that in the vault.
Okay, but where are the horses?
Outside. I can see one through the window, and it's got bags tied to the side of it, just like the horse we saw in the vault.
Interesting. The sign says Pack Horse Library, WPA. What do you suppose WPA is?
Well, finally, Percy. You've been awfully quiet while we've been trying to figure everything out by ourselves. Can you tell us where we've traveled to? And what is the WPA?
What did he say?
He said we're in a place called Wooten. It's in eastern Kentucky, up in the Appalachian Mountains. He said that this is a part of the United States that's hard to get to. It isn't close to any big cities, and there aren't any big roads.
I guess it would be hard for cars to get around here if all the roads are tricky.
And steep. There's some pretty dangerous roads around here, even for horses.
Did Percy say what time we traveled to?
Yes, he said we traveled back to the year 1935, which was a difficult time for a lot of Americans. He said it was a time called the Great Depression.
Wait a second. I read about that while I was in the library today. I actually checked out a book about the Great Depression for my report. In the 1930s, the American economy crashed, which meant there was a lot less money. A lot of people lost their jobs and couldn't pay their bills and could barely afford to buy food.
That's right, and places like eastern Kentucky were hit really hard. The people here were hardworking and independent, but they really struggled, more than people in other parts of the country.
Why was that?
There weren't that many jobs here, so a lot of men went to work in the cities and towns and sent money back to their families. When the Depression hit, businesses closed and men lost their jobs. They had to come home to eastern Kentucky where they couldn't find work, and life here was difficult. Percy said parts of Kentucky are so remote that people didn't even have libraries. They couldn't get books.
No books? How do people learn to read?
Well, a lot of the adults here didn't know how to read, but their children were learning in school, and they started to teach their parents.
All right, ladies, I'm away. I'll take this stack of books with me. Be careful on those roads. That path up the mountain is tricky. Do you have a hat? It's cold out today.
Anna, let's follow that woman, the one who's taking the books with her.
She's putting the books in those saddlebags, and now she's climbing onto the horse. What should we do?
We jump onto the horse.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It's not like we haven't done that before. And how else are we supposed to see where she's going?
Good point. Besides, this looks like a pretty big horse. I think it can carry us.
Ready? Hold on, Anna. Here we go!
Hi friends, are you enjoying today's episode? I'd like to take a quick break from the story to tell you about another great place to learn about the past. Honest History creates magazines and books for kids that are filled with fun stories and activities that bring history to life. From pirates to spies to great inventions and so much more, you'll learn about interesting people, places, and events from around the world that made history. Created for kids ages 6 through 12, you can sign up and receive new adventures delivered straight to your doorstep every quarter. Just visit honesthistory.co. That's honesthistory.co to sign up today. Oh, and here's a special offer for our podcast listeners. Use code UNLOCKTHIS for 10% off. Again, that special code is UNLOCKTHIS. Okay, let's get back to the story.
I didn't realize how cold it is out here.
There's a scarf in my backpack if you want it.
Much better. Oh, thanks, Leo.
Why do we stop?
I think we're taking that path up into the hills. It looks pretty steep.
Well, up we go. Hold on tight. Well, maybe not that tight.
Sorry, it's getting pretty narrow on this road. I feel like we're gonna fall off the cliff. Leo, look out!
Whoa there, whoa! Good boy. Now let's try this another way.
Oh, that was a close one.
The woman is getting off. I think she's gonna lead that horse up the part of that mountain. Come on, let's get off too.
Man, wherever we're going isn't easy to get to.
That's for sure.
You know, I've been thinking, this woman must be a part of the Pack Horse Library, and she's delivering the books somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. She's like a horse-riding librarian.
Hey, did Percy ever explain what the WPA was? Remember we saw it on that sign back in the building?
Oh, he said WPA stands for Works Progress Administration. During the Great Depression, President Roosevelt created a bunch of programs to give people jobs since so many people were out of work. The WPA was one of these programs, and probably the most famous one. The government employed millions of people. They were out building bridges, roads, and buildings. And the WPA also wanted to make sure that people had access to books. So the government set aside money to pay for traveling libraries.
Traveling libraries.
Yup. In some parts of the country, there weren't any libraries close by, and it was hard to get to people. So people started donating books, which they stored in churches, post offices, and community centers. And then the WPA hired librarians to set out on horseback and deliver books to people in the most remote parts of the country.
Like here, in eastern Kentucky.
Exactly. Percy said that the building we saw earlier, where the women were fixing all the books, that was the WPA's first pack horse library. But soon there would be many more in Kentucky. And brave librarians would load up their horses and hike up the hills to deliver books to people who didn't have any.
Hey, look! I think we've made it. I see a small house around the corner.
And there's a bunch of kids running out to meet the librarian.
The book lady is here.
I thought you might like this one. It has some nice pictures inside.
Leo, look at the book she just gave the kids. It looks just like the one I found in the vault, Robinson Crusoe.
In the other book she's holding, it's the one with all the recipes I saw in the vault too.
Those must have been books the pack horse librarians delivered in Kentucky.
We figured it out. And you know what that means.
We're about to travel again. Hold on.
And we're back in the vault. Well, I didn't expect to go on that adventure today.
Me neither. I had no idea librarians used to travel on horseback up mountains to deliver books to kids.
Yeah, do you think they still do that?
Well, according to Percy, the WPA's pack horse libraries ended in 1943. That's when the government stopped funding the program. But it didn't mean the end of traveling libraries. A few years later, motorized bookmobiles started delivering books around eastern Kentucky. And those bookmobiles continued for decades.
I'm glad kids were able to get their books, but I still have a problem. How am I supposed to get all of my library books home? I don't have a pack horse. Well, not a real one anyway. I don't think this fake horse is going to help me. And I definitely wouldn't be able to get this horse past the security guard.
Leo, behind the horse, there's a little wagon.
Wait, was that there the whole time? Percy, you could have told us.
I think he wanted us to go on a bit of an adventure first.
All right, well, let's load this wagon up. You know, I could fit another book in here. You don't think anyone will notice if this old recipe book goes missing?
Percy says you have to promise to return it.
Oh, I will. I promise.
Welcome back. That sure was a great adventure. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna tell all my friends about this amazing story. That's all for now. But if you want to learn more, be sure to check out my favorite magazine for kids, Honest History. There's a ton of stuff to learn in each issue, and I love the fun activities and questions. Bye! This episode was narrated by Nikki and JoAnn Schinderle and written by Heidi Coburn. The production was read by Robot Pirate Media. To learn more about Honest History, visit us at honesthistory.co and follow for updates on social media.